Hi guys!
Hiya.
Want to show you how we pack and organise our camper.
So let's start off in the hardtop area. So what we do is, on our travels, we have two large cupboards in the upper level, and the bigger one is to the rear with an upper shelf, and Tracy likes to keep her memory foam pillow in there and all our clothes. Then to the front we've got the smaller one where I keep my clothes, and we also keep a couple of single sleeping bags which can be unzipped and put together as a double, or just use it as an extra cover if it's just a little bit cold. Running from front to the rear, there's this upper shelving area where we tend to keep our day-to-day item regarding the cutlery and dishes, juices, sugars, tea bags, the ridge monkeys. When we're watching the TV at night, we like to keep some DVDs handy, some juice cups and coffees. Running down the other side, it's our snack area. We're spoiling ourselves. I like to keep my electrical bits and bobs here for doing the videos. Kitchen roll, toilet roll, and probably the most important corner for safety is your first aid kit and your fire extinguisher. So moving down to the next tier, the way Wellhouse has designed this van, you have the 2-pot burner. We like to use our sink for keeping our kettle, and we use a little bit of polythene which stops it rattling while we're on the move. Next to that we have an inbuilt fridge which we keep our beverages in, and our bread. So moving along in the tambour door area, we have a wardrobe which is quite deep. We just tend to keep our chemicals in it for the toilet, all our walking boots and shoes and jackets for whatever we need.
This is where we keep all our bits and bobs for doing the dishes.
Alright. And what about the door underneath?
This is where we keep our toilet, but I'm not really wanting to talk too much about that.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know really. But
so what about the tambour door next to it?
this is where we keep our tins, our pasta, our noodles, porridge.
All our tin food, and also our pots and pans if needed.
Yeah.
And just in case you may be wondering where you saw in previous videos about the polythene behind the seat, it's just because of the design of the seats and the colours that we've got that there as a protection, because as you can see it's quite close to the cooking area, and it's just to avoid splashes and keep the chairs looking good for a little bit longer. We also keep a bottle handy in the corner which is quick to get access to. So when we know we're going away for longer than our normal weekend, we bring along our portable fridge, which is quite handy, and it's deceiving how much food you can get in it. And we purchased it from Alphard, so it's not too expensive. It also comes with a cable. What's fortunate for us is it happens to fit between the seats on the Alphard, and it reaches the cigarette lighter no problem to plug in. Well, underneath the rock and roll bed, hinged the board to get access to the cupboard underneath, and all we do is actually keep a plastic box under there for putting our dirty washing in, and there's still masses of space. Generally most things that we keep under the rock and roll is for external activities. So moving along to the tailgate, we take advantage of the rock and roll bed the seating compartment, and this is where we keep our reflectors for the windows. We also have our tabletop. These are the wedges for levelling the van out if we're on uneven ground. Just a regular backpack with the juice bottles in it for if we're on our travels somewhere. Spare water, one winter double sleeping bag, and one mattress topper. Just to the right of that there's a little compartment where we keep our hookup cable, and we also have one of these little rubber mallets if we need it for anything, for our windbreakers. Moving down below, we've took the canoe out just now as we're moving into the autumn winter time, and I don't think we'll need it. So we have our windbreakers and our his and hers folding chairs. Right, so this is how we set our table up for when we're going to be having something to eat. So Tracy gets the tripod legs together. I just reach over the back and get the tabletop from behind the rock and roll. And that's it. There you go. And you've still got ample space to manoeuvre back and forth and swap seats if you want. So when we are finished having something to eat, this is our normal routine for making space for before we go to our bed if we want to just sit back and relax. So there we go. That goes down beside the passenger seat. The poles go back behind the driver's seat. But because we know we're going to be going to bed, we then have to start moving the items behind the seating area. So these now go behind the captain's chair. And we've got our wedges. Now if we do happen to be on level ground, then we're just left with a bag. So these then go in the middle here. And it's a case of we're just left with our water bottle. That was heavy. And it now goes between the chairs. And now we're free with plenty of space to make our bed for later on. Or just sit back and relax and watch the TV. So now that it's came to bedtime, it's just a case of getting over the items from the back of the rock and roll. So all we have to do is just move these forward, pull the button, bring this forward, flip it down. This then goes under the front of the rock and roll bed, and we're getting access to all the items in the back. There we go. A couple of minutes later, the bed's all ready. Well, good morning. So just before we go to bed, we arrange a kettle with some water and some cups. We bring the toilet out and we leave it at the bottom of the bed. And when we get up, and conveniently it also fits underneath the rock and roll to free up some floor space. And we put up the flag, which you can either use the flag for some privacy, even for during the day if you want to use the toilet, or you can put the reflectors on the windows. And we also move our fridge onto the chair to give up some free space, and whoever's up first can then have a seat on the captain's chair, enjoy their morning cuppa, and hopefully with a nice view somewhere.